Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the eISL, powered by Coca-Cola, with Hero as our associate sponsor, Nodwin Gaming as our esports partner, and PlayStation as our platform partner, and of course, Terra Virtua as our digital collectibles partner. Now, of course, joining me today is the one and only Azim. So, Azim, let's get it started. Tell me, how are you?
Oh, very good. Really looking forward to an amazing top-of-the-table clash to get us going today. But quickly, let's get you through the tournament format. If you're just joining in, this is, of course, the fag end of the league stages with the top 4 to be decided. 3 games to a match, 2 1v1s and 1 co-op. The top 4 teams play out the finals on the 19th and the 20th of March. And, of course, on the 20th of March, we'll also decide which of the 2 winning team members is going to represent India at FGS 2022.
Exactly, and we're so close, Azim, to the brunt end of this tournament. As you said, today we're going to see a top-of-the-table matchup as both of the teams look to really establish their spot, not necessarily in the top 4 maybe, but rather in a better seeding in that top 2 mark. So I think for Chennaiyin FC especially, it's going to be a true test because SCEB Bengal, they are on an absolute tear.
Yeah, and of course, playing for the big bucks. Both of these teams, I think they've just about secured passage into the top 4 and, of course, will be eligible for those giant prizes. Of course, a total prize pool of 78 lakh rupees. First place will get 15 lakhs. And also, the MVP, of which we're watching a couple of contenders today, get a nice chunk of change, 4 lakh rupees plus that personalized NFT by Terra Virtua.
Exactly, besides the chunk of change, really nice memento, I would say, to remember yourself permanently, and a memento which has intrinsic value attached. It could not be better. But I think coming back to the matchup itself, I'm really excited to see, because as you can see on the leaderboard, Chennaiyin FC and SCEB Bengal, they are on the top. Now granted, Mumbai City FC does have a couple of games in the bag, so for both of these teams, getting this win over each other is that much more important, because Chennai win today, Azim, they take number 1 spot.
Yeah, and I think for me that magic number has been 35 points to get into the top 4. So I think if Chennaiyin FC can just get that 1 point or get all 3, that's I think the 1 and 2 pretty much taken care of over there. And going to be interesting to see. It's not going to be Saranch up against Ankit Gupta. We would have loved to watch that blockbuster battle, but it is Nodwin against Ankit and Saranch going up against Shayantan. Again, these 2 teams so well matched, the absolute 2 best teams, although Mumbai City FC would have a little something to say about that. But I think the most consistent teams so far, and you could say SCEB Bengal not in their best form of late. And Chennaiyin FC as well really had to grind to get that win against Bengaluru FC yesterday. So yeah, just having a look at those stats, the 2 top goal scoring teams in the eISL, pretty much identical with their stats, just that one difference of 2 points in there. And if we look at the previous matchup to see what happened when they met, it is actually we didn't get to see Saranch and Ankit playing each other at all that time as well, and it was very close. Was a draw, and I expected to be as close this time as well.
Yeah, I'm sure Nodwin going and being like, hey, last time it was a draw, I want that win this time, let me take up Ankit. And we'll have to see if we can actually translate, because I will say overall throughout this eISL, Ankit Gupta has looked straight up the top contender for that MVP prize overall. But as you said, recently, for SCEB Bengal, they themselves have run into something that is uncharacteristic for them. A couple of draws here and there and a flurry of results that haven't necessarily gone their way. So today they get to make a statement once again, bring back a huge chunk of momentum by taking down the titan that is Chennaiyin FC. But I'll have to see if they can actually get it done.
Yeah, Ankit Gupta, I think he's gone, by his admission as well, he's gone just a little bit off the boil in recent weeks. He said ever since he started taking the tournament really seriously, when SCEB Bengal really got into that top 4 battle, and it became quite clear that they're here to stay till the playoffs, he started to get just that little bit more stress, playing with, I could say, maybe a little bit more responsibility by not taking as many chances, not being the maverick that we've grown used to seeing. But we have kicked off. It is going to be an absolute classic. So get your snacks, get your drinks all together, and here we go.
Yeah, and we see Ankit, he's got himself a fresh cut, looking suave as hell. So I'm sure he'll want that in his game as well, because as you mentioned, he's at his very best when he's playing on his instinct. He's at his very best when he's relying on his basic understanding of the game without the pressure. So that pressure, we'll have to see if it disappears today or if Nodwin is able to show up with his high-octane gameplay and pile it on that much more.
Yeah, well, actually, fun fact, ever since Ankit Gupta has got that funky haircut of his, he actually has not won a game. So we saw that we did confirm that him and V Sharma both went to the same barber and immediately proceeded to not win their matches. Both drew immediately after. But V Sharma got his campaign back on the road yesterday with a really good win, beating, I believe it was... Lukmanu, I think. Actually, I can't quite remember, but it was a 4-1 win. And anyway, it is right now Chennaiyin FC getting forward. No real pointers so far. It's been a pretty scrappy KG first opening 8-9 minutes, and no major chances created. I think both sets of teams playing it very cautious. You don't want to lose this match, in the off chance that somehow results go against you later on and somehow you find yourself dumped out of that top four. So there will be an element of caution for both teams. But now we see Ankit getting in behind. We've seen him been one of those players to use crosses quite a lot, getting those headers in from CR7. But in recent weeks, we've seen players start to nullify his style of play a little bit, and he's going to have to change it up soon.
Yeah, exactly. Players are starting to get accustomed to Ankit's quite different style of play, and inherently I think he's also feeling the pressure because of the fact that he's not able to pull off those results like he used to. But right now, focus on this match, as both of these players are very, very well matched. 1-1 in the last time we saw them around, and that's where that first goal, that initial boost of momentum, is going to make a whole lot of difference to both of these players.
Yeah, I don't expect there's going to be particularly high scoring matches today because, as I said, it is very tight between these two teams. But Ankit trying to get away there with Eusebio. Again, Naveen's defense very, very sorted. He's playing a relatively high line, so not allowing Ankit to get his game going. But Ankit, of course, he's savvy enough to know that he just needs to get a few long balls in behind that defense, and he'll surely be starting to create more chances. But again, very cagey midfield battle so far. 20 minutes elapsed. Nothing even close to resembling a shot on goal. I don't think we've seen any touches inside the box either. This is the first one inside the box from Ankit Gupta. Has the opportunity to find R9. It falls to Eusebio. Is he onside?
Yep.
Does appear to be so, and a bit of fortune for Ankit, but he has got that lead.
Yeah, well, fortune favors the brave, and at this point, Ankit Gupta certainly being brave with that pass into the box. I thought that was going to get intercepted for sure, but managed to go Ronaldo to Ronaldo, and a little lucky with the deflection, definitely, but a goal picked up, and he's going to thank his stars because at this point, like we talked about, that initial boost is going to be huge. Now, Nodwin feeling that pressure because back to that leaderboard conversation. Chennaiyin FC, they need a point off of this at least to get to that special 35 point mark where they're feeling very safe about their top 4 chances, irrespective of what happens in the next few matches. So starting off here with a win for Chennaiyin FC could be key, but at least if Nodwin is able to equalize, get a draw, it would help them that much more.
Yeah, and I could see from some rudimentary lip reading that I think Shantan just telling his teammate, now keep the ball, let him come and press you and then play that ball in behind. I think that will probably be the approach. And early tactical changes by Nodwin. Let's see if he's going to change the way he's approaching this game. Maybe drop his defensive line a little bit further back. It does look like the defense is playing just that little bit deeper now. So maybe that was the change that he was trying to make. Didn't want to leave that much space in behind for Ankit to exploit. And now keeping that ball, you can see Ankit also playing a pretty high line, not really allowing Nodwin much space in that midfield to try and build from. He's being forced to go into those wide channels and now has the opportunity. Gets Pele in there, has CR7 in the box if he chooses to cross, decides not to go for it this time. Now R9 and Hullet has CR7 again waiting in that box, but electing not to use him because he is surrounded by defenders. So Ankit doing a very, very good job defensively right now, keeping it compact, keeping it all very sorted and solid. And but we do know, Nodwin, it just takes one good skill move to break through even the best of defenses, and well, may happen later on, but not immediately.
Most definitely. Possession-wise though, a lot of the ball controlled by Chennaiyin FC. Ankit mostly playing on the counter, but he's getting his taste off it right now. Yes, does have a considerable bit of the ball, and he's going to look to deny it from Nodwin. Look to pile the pressure on and make Nodwin just slightly desperate. I will say just it's a little early into the match to try and make that happen. And it will be hard to especially get a seasoned player like Nodwin feeling that pressure. But right now, I think it all comes down to the chances they're able to create, and you can see trying to deny those chances and deny that possession that Nodwin loves so much. Ankit playing very slow with the ball, and that's not really his style so far, so it's quite interesting to see him change it up.
Yeah, and I think it stems from that conversation that that Chantan was having with him as well, that, you know what, just slow it down, make him come to you, and then that's where the chances and the gaps are going to appear from. And Nodwin really hasn't had that much in terms of opportunity. I don't think he's had any shot of note. But this time getting forward with Hakimi, again, a poor choice of pass over there. But the high press paying off now with Mbappe at the edge of the area, trying to get in. But again, there's so many defenders back there. It's going to take something special. And there, that little bit of skill. But I think Ankit read that pass, may have been better off by trying to just go a little bit closer to that byline and trying to get that little cutback or square pass. Wins the ball back again. Nodwin, let's see if he can create something now.
Certainly has the opportunity here, going to run down the wing, and a cross is not what we expect from Nodwin, but maybe switching it up will be what gets him back on the board. But no, like we were talking about, actually instead sets up a 1-2, runs down the wing with Hakimi, had the option to pull it back, but he's playing it safe so far. But you have to wonder, how safe can you play without giving up the chances? How many shots that he did not take are shots that he actually ended up missing?
Oh, this is the opportunity here. Again, had the opportunity, the channel opened up for him, but I think he'd already queued up that animation. Could have gone for a long range shot. This time, brilliant bridge with Ronaldo. Again, does not pull that trigger. And is Nodwin going to be regretting these missed opportunities? He had 2 opportunities to take that shot on. Decided to, try to work a closer shot, a higher percentage shot, and just was snuffed out in the end.
Oh, but this time Ankit's got his shot in another. Oh
no, that's the replay.
Actually, yeah, I lost my mind for a second there because I was like, wait, not again? How a deflection again? But thankfully, just a replay. But yeah, again, bringing back the conversation to what you mentioned, you can see for Ankit, this has really been about evolving himself as a player. And it's important because when we came into eISL, we had a set standard of which players to expect a lot from. We're going to see one of those in action today in Saranj. And we had a lot of players like Ankit, like Nodwin, really step up to the plate and surprise us with their brilliance from the very start. Now, these players, the way they moved on to the eISL, they've evolved a little bit, but they've also lost a bit of their initial brilliance, and I want to see them finding the right strike, the right balance between that, where they still have that instinct, but they're also able to find a bit of structure to their gameplay, something that their teammates like Saranj can provide to Nodwin and Shayantan can provide to Ankit overall. But right now, a huge chance for, it seems like Nodwin set up. Is it just me, or does it feel like he is hesitating for a second, maybe even overthinking here, Nodwin?
Yeah. Absolutely, I think he is definitely trying to play, just searching for that almost that 100% pass and 100% shot every time, which of course at this level it's not entirely practical to search for that, particularly at this late stage of the tournament. Now again with Ronaldo trying that trick, but of course it seemed a little bit uncontrolled, didn't quite seem like he was entirely sure what he was doing there, just trying to spam the trick and get away with it. But this time it is Ankit coming forward, has the opportunity, this time finds Eusebio in, and these are the situations where Ankit generally has been so good, just playing on instinct, just relying on that just raw, almost animalistic FIFA instinct that he has to find the right move, to make the right pass, and keeping it simple for now, just ensuring that he keeps the ball, and now going up the gears, but runs into trouble in the shape of Cancelo, and now Nodwin looking to counter, but again, it does look like it's a very set and settled defense for Ankit, and it's going to take something special from Nodwin to break it down.
Oh, most definitely. And that's something special. It needs to come real quick if he even has a dream about getting the victory here in this matchup, because right now Ankit is continuously able to deny him those opportunities. Well, again, it feels like Naveen has a ton of the ball. There are no clear-cut opportunities created. There are no pressure moments where Ankit's keeper, Ankit's defense has to step up. So we really need to find a way. Naveen is able to find something and make it happen, but instead, again, the counter opportunity almost leads to something for Ankit, and it is not Naveen creating those chances. He's got the ball once again. Let's see if he can make it happen.
Yeah, I think, I mean, in these situations, at least for me, when I've been in the situation where everything I'm trying is just not working out, I think the one thing that's really helped me is to just actively force myself to do the thing that I would not do. Because after a while, the players tend to start predicting what you're doing over the course of 90 minutes. But this time, is that a penalty? Nope. Mbappe goes down into the box, but it is a clean tackle. And now, these are the situations that Ankit really loves. Gets that first touch. Will he manage to get the chip? No, Donnarumma off his line very, very quickly. But I think Naveen needs to start getting a little bit more unpredictable with how he's approaching this game. Let's see if he can do that. Now getting forward, Mbappe's big chance because Cancelo had committed just slightly too much with the shot fake and the shot cancel again. He's being forced to go out of the box every time, and Ankit is very happy for him to have the ball right there because he's just giving it straight back to him.
Exactly, and the way the possession ends up being set up is that it usually means there's a high line, the defenders are spread out, and Ankit loves him these opportunities on the counter. A quick cross slammed into the box, but a key interception will still keep the hopes and dreams alive for Naveen so far in this matchup. Now again, controlling the possession, controlling the ball, but I think it's time he started taking a bit more of those riskier chances, started paying into the surprise factor a little bit more, because everything he's doing by the book, yes, it is by the book, but it's something that is being read brilliantly by Ankit.
Yeah, absolutely. And now with Pele, needs to do something different. Maybe, just go for a long range shot if it opens up or something like that. I mean, just try something. And this time, with the aggressive press, he's won that ball back with Pele. Went for the chop back. I thought he might attempt the shot over there, but I think the angle was just a little too acute. And now with CR7 at the edge of the box, again turning into trouble. I think it's very easy for Ankit to predict right now. And now on the counter attack, between three defenders, he's still managing to get R9 in there. Big opportunity with Kante, and now Mbappe, inadvertent nutmeg over there, and Naveen will win that ball. Nope, it's going to come back to SCEB Bengal.
Again, SCEB Bengal able to get it back. It's just 10 minutes left on the clock, and surely Naveen's tension is just building up. The blood pressure most likely hitting the charts, but chances not being created again and again. These midfield interceptions coming clutch for the side of Ankit, but this time it's actually Hakimi who finds the interception. Naveen with the ball again, and like you said, Azim, he's just got to go for something different. Had an opportunity for the outside once, but this time instead electing to play the short passes, look for someone in the box. They now find it, but once again he's created one.
Yeah, again, I think the openings are always coming up for Naveen, but he's just not being able to take them. I think just queuing up too many things for the players to do, and by the time the animation sort of executes itself, the chance is gone. So needs to just be a little bit more composed in that final third. I think right now he's really trying to just spam things and hope it works out, whereas it needs to be just that little bit more controlled. And now this is much better, getting the fullbacks forward. Now with Hakimi, has the opportunity to look for that cross again, goes out. Ankit Gupta very happy to allow him to just pass at the edge of the area, but now with Pele, needs to make this count again. So just complicating that a little bit too much, and there you go, Ankit's won it again, and it is a 1-0. And Naveen tried, but I don't think it's been his best day at the office. Not enough quality in that final third, and Ankit got his one chance, he took it, and he'll take the win and be on his way.
Exactly, right? Like in that final third, it did not remind us of the Naveen we've seen throughout this eISL, where he doesn't hesitate. He goes for his chances. He's very quick with his skill moves, for example, to create the space. But today it was a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of overthinking, and that little edge is all you need when you've got such great players facing off against each other. A 1-0 win is all it was, but a win is what really matters to Ankit Gupta and SCEB Bengal right here. Starting off this series with the bang and taking off some pressure from Ben, who in his previous matchup did lose to Saransh.
Yeah, of course, Saransh. Now, well, we did speak to Saransh yesterday, and he said that, well, he's going to get better as the tournament goes deep. He says that's always been the case with him, where so far he says he's had an average tournament, and he's going to be now trying to move up the gears and really start showing us what he's made of. And, well, with now his teammate having been defied and denied by Ankit Gupta for 90 minutes, really frustrated. I think even the highlights team would have been clutching at straws to find highlights to
Yeah.
put into that game, because just that quality in the final third just was not quite there from both players. And there you look at it, I think the most glaring stat over there is 0 shots from Chennaiyin FC, despite there being opportunities to take those shots. And we've seen this from the likes of Bindratej recently. We've seen it from the likes of Afnan recently. That when you cannot get that clean opportunity, maybe you need to do something different. Maybe you need to take a shot from long range, just force the opposition to think in a different manner. But unfortunately, it did not happen for Naveen today. But still, there is the opportunity for Chennai and FC to strike right back with Saranj going up against Sayantan in game two. And I do believe we're going to have an interview at coming up in just a little bit. So we will head over to that once we're ready. And I do believe it is the man Ankit Gupta. तो अंकित
हाँ
भाई
जी।
हेयर कट कर्स फाइनली खत्म हो चुका है एंड यू गॉट योर विन. तो कैसा लग रहा है?
हाँ मतलब ये वाला विन एक्चुअली मैं डिज़र्व नहीं करता था, बट ठीक है, नवीन काफ़ी अच्छा खेला है, उसने अच्छे से प्रेस किया, बट हाँ मैंने अपनी डिफेंडिंग पे थोड़ा फोकस किया, बट नवीन ये गेम था जो नवीन ने मुझे डोमिनेट किया, बट एट द एंड मैं जीत गया, तो आई कैन से कि अनलकी फॉर नवीन।
बट ये काफी बार हमने देखा है वेर आप नेसेसरली पोजेशन कंट्रोल नहीं करते हो, बट आपका जो डिसीजन मेकिंग रहता है जब आप काउंटर पे जाते हो, एकदम ठक 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 एकदम इंस्टेंट जो आप डिसीजन मेकिंग करते हो, क्या आपको लगता है वो आपको वो एज देता है ये गोल्स फाइंड करने का? क्योंकि नवीन की तरफ से एक भी शॉट नहीं देखा हमने।
हाँ मतलब मेरा वही प्ले रहता है कि बॉल मिले तो क्विक काउंटर अटैक्स पे गोल करना, बट नवीन डिफेंडेड वेल एंड मेरे पास ज़्यादा पोजीशन नहीं थी, तो ये सब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ इतनी मिली नहीं, बट ठीक है, ये गेम ऐसा है।
बट हम लोग वी वर रियली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड कि एक दिन हमको अंकित वर्सेस सारांश देखने मिले ऑन ऑन द eISL. तो ये इज दिस प्लान कि तुम लोग एक दूसरे से नहीं खेल रहे हो या ऐसे ही हो गया?
नहीं, वो ऐसे रैंडमली हो गया, बट होपफुली टॉप फोर के फिक्चर्स में खेल रहे हम एक दूसरे के अगेंस्ट।
Super. We'll look forward to that. Anyway, congrats on your win and all the best to Shayantan for
थैंक
the
यू सो
rest of the
मच।
game.
थैंक यू।
It'll be quite an interesting showdown if it does end up happening in the top four. All of the regular group stage action building into these titans playing against each other. But right now, I guess our focus towards the second match of this series itself, we're going to be seeing Sharansh going up against Shayantan.
Yeah, that's going to be quite an interesting battle now. Of course, with the pressure on Saranch, and he's no stranger to it. He's faced the biggest pressures possible available to any FIFA player, and we can have a look at the highlights between these guys in the previous matchup as well. It was a pretty good match the last time out. We did see that Saranch managed to get that early lead over there with Ronaldo and. Oh, the good old days when we had the Ronaldo with the nice World Cup 22 hairstyle, World Cup 2002 hairstyle.
Yeah, and a point that has really stuck with me, a point that you mentioned, Azim, was that Saransh, he's a seasoned professional. He's been in these high pressure tournaments before. He's been in these moments where in the final edges he needs to step up, really, as you said, turn up the gears and make his mark, put the pedal to the metal. And it does feel like it's something that he's gotten very accustomed to, because we have seen somewhat of, at least to his standards, an average tournament so far. Now I wonder if he's able to get his team back by a demolishing matchup and take that momentum into the co-op by taking down Shayantan right here, because that's easier said than done. Shayantan himself has gotten so much better involved throughout the EISL.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, he's really been the guy who's been carrying the team for SCEB Bengal over the last few weeks. I think it's been a while, maybe 3 or 4 games since Ankit has managed to get that W next to his name. And again, we saw this great counter attack from Saranch. He actually dominated this game, did deserve to win it in the end. And of course, at the end of it, we did see that this game was decided on the final game to give to sort of share the spoils. And towards the end, it was Saranch capitalizing on a loss of possession and smashing it into the top corner. And if you give him this kind of a chance, he's never going to hesitate to pull that trigger. always seems to make that that right decision in the final third. Got a little bit, really had to work hard yesterday for his points, but yeah, eventually, this is what it all boils down to. These are the big games. These are the top two facing off. I'm really looking forward to this game because they're so closely matched, even in their FIFA skill level
Yeah.
scores.
Absolutely, and I think that much more on the line here for Saransh. He got the win last time around. He needs the win this time around for them to be able to go into the co-op with everything on the line. But for Shayantan himself, I think even if he's able to get a draw, they will be happy knowing that in their previous matchup, it was SCEB Bengal who took the win in the co-op. Now, having said all of that, as you said, stats-wise, these guys are really close. So I think previous matchup, win or loss, it could go either way in this matchup.
Yeah, and of course there is going to be the pressure on Saransh to get the job done. Last time out, it was a draw between Naveen and Ankit, but this time it's going to be a little bit more pressure, and it does look like we are ready. Shayantan in his traditional bent over, fully intent FIFA game pose, as we are now just about nearing kickoff, and very, very, very excited for this one. You can see the nerves are on display, even though it's not such a huge consequence match for both teams. I mean, even if you do lose, you have really just need to get one win out of your remaining couple of 2 or 3 games, and you can 100% guarantee your spot in that top 4. But of course, you're right, the seeding and the matchups will make quite a big difference. Although I would say that the top 4 teams, whoever they are, I think they're going to be so well matched. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a playoff session.
Oh, absolutely, Azim. I can't wait for that. But right now, into this matchup between Saransh and Shayantan, and I'm expecting a similar story where Saransh does control most of the ball the way he did the last time they played around. But again, it does come down to that clinical factor in the final third. And from the side of Shayantan especially, unlike Ankit, we've seen him, he's a lot more of a textbook player. He likes to play things slow, likes to create those clear-cut chances. So in that regard, I think very similar play styles from both of the players we're getting to witness on the field right now. And it's going to come down to that extra X factor that they can bring. Talking about X factor though, is that Cruyff I see on the left wing. Has been a while since we got to see that.
I think Saransh is one of those players who sort of persisted with him, or maybe there's an icon upgrade that we are not quite aware of. Maybe that's something that's come across in one of the new updates, but I think there might be offside. Doesn't matter anyway because it's well intercepted. But you can see the intent from Saransh very early on. He's got into the box a couple of times. He's making Shayantan a little bit uncomfortable. Again, now getting forward with Hakimi, trying to make Shayantan just commit to one way so that he can get that free passage into the box. Now with Ronaldo, would have been tempted. I know a lot of players would be tempted to take those long range shots, but I do wonder sometimes, maybe is it a matter of just principle that a few players just don't take these shots, saying, you know what, it's too easy if I just do that. But this is not easy at all. This is a brilliant move, but again, last ditch defending from Shayantan over there. He'll be looking to play on that counter attack. We have seen some absolutely magical finishing from Shayantan as well. We've seen some devastating chips inside the box, and it's been a very, very good few weeks for the man from Kolkata, of course, an SCEB Bengal fan himself. So probably one of the guys who's proudest to be representing his club in the eISL, because it matters to him so much on a personal level as well. But now getting into the box, has the opportunity, could have taken the shot on the weaker foot, but with the shot fake, the chance was always going to disappear.
Yeah, that extra second of hesitation, the extra second of thought, it removes the opportunity from the players. Now, I think their argument will be, well, even if I had taken it, it's unlikely it went in, but without the opportunity itself, I guess we'll never know. Once again, though, going down to the line is Saransh, trying to, as you said, spread out the defense of Shayantan, but it did not happen. Instead, with the ball back, the counter on, a huge through ball to let Mbappe through, and now Mbappe with a lot of space. But unlike Ankit, as you can see, Shayantan is a player who likes to take things slow. He likes to play things by the book, so he's never going to take those, say, 60-40 or 70-30 chances. He wants something more guaranteed.
Yeah, definitely. He is the kind of guy who will wait for that opportunity. Of course, very experienced player. I think one of the older guys in the tournament so far, and that of course does count for a lot, having been in the competitive scene for so long, then took a break from it, and then finally came back to the eISL and back with a bang, we have to say, sitting on top of the eISL table right now and hoping to keep his team there, because if he manages to even get a draw out of this game, he will guarantee SC's Bengal at least 1 point. So maybe that might be the thought process. But well, Saransh managing to capitalize on a silly giveaway from Santan over there. But still, I think no real pointers either way. We've seen Saransh start pretty brightly, but it's all fizzled out since then.
Yeah, I think from both of these players, we saw some close chances, but so far, no clear-cut opportunities, no insane saves, and it's quite interesting the way the eISL has evolved in that regard, where towards the start we see all of these insane shots, insane saves from Van der Sar, but now we get to see a lot more calculated gameplay, showing us how much better our players themselves have become. But a relay almost getting Saransh into the box, but a key tackle that could have easily been a penalty, Azim.
Yeah, could easily have been a penalty. Could easily manage to somehow nutmeg Varane and find his way through there as well. But well, for SC's Bengal's sake, it didn't quite work out, and they'll be pleased about that. And Sandan has been in a lot of games like this. In fact, there's been so many games in the recent past where he's gone a goal down and just managed to come back and win either 2-1 or 3-2. So he's not going to be overly perturbed by any of this. In fact, going in level is pretty good for him. And he just needs that one chance, because the moment he gets that chance, it's like he's immediately on red alert and suddenly becomes this clinical assassin, but not being quite clinical over here, giving that ball away for Saransh. And again, very, very compact in midfield and defense. You can see a high line repeatedly spamming those offside traps as well, so not allowing Saransh to play those balls in behind. And there now we see the gap for Cruyff to get in. This could be an opportunity. Again, I think overcomplicating that just a little bit. Gets into the box, and N'Golo Kante there, of course, the team of the year Kante. Cruyff never stood a chance against him. And this is very, very close, very, very tight, very, very nervy, and almost a giveaway. But no, it's still SC's Bengal's ball. And
now that we're approaching that half-time mark, it's going to be down to Shantan to try and control the ball till then. Use that extra 45-minute... I don't know if it's luck at this point or placebo factor to get you a better chance at that 45 and 90-minute mark that we regularly see. But this is, again, something very regular. When teams try to control the ball, they end up almost turning off and inadvertently giving it away. And that's exactly what happens with Shantan. So we're going to close this half off without much action. 0-0 on the board, as both of these players very, very well matched.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, I think it's going to be again another challenge for the production team. What are we going to get? Are we going to get more than one highlight today? Let's see. They really must be scratching their heads saying, does a throw-in count as a highlight? But no, there was a couple of early chances for Saransh over here. This one in particular, I think if he had just got the shot off with CR7 rather than going for that pass, it may well have just flown into that top corner. But I think this is a case of two very well-matched players, and also two players who have played against each other extensively over the years, and particularly over the last few months, and really know each other's game very, very well. And it's quite interesting to note that these guys play each other very, very often, even in their hotels in the bubble. I mean, if it were me, I would not play against any of my opponents in the eISL. I'd just be playing against people online. To not allow anybody to figure out my tactics.
But I guess it does come down to the simple fact that at the end of the day, you can choose to either hide your tactics or really improve on the basis of playing them again and again. I think both have their pros and cons. And you can see for the players, clearly a pro about just improving individually, and we'll have to see if it does end up benefiting them, because gameplay-wise, I do think they've, as a collective, gotten so much better, so much more refined, and so much more calculated in their approach. Right now, though, with that calculation, Shantan trying to make his move forward, but no holes found in Saransh's defense.
Yeah, nothing really for either player actually to exploit. We saw those couple of early chances for Saransh which he couldn't capitalize on. This time, though, it is Shantan, and as I said, the deadly assassin, he needs just one moment. And he has capitalized on it. Go both the Ronaldos, and there you go. It is 1-0 SC's Bengal, and they could be closing this out in 2 games, and I don't think any of us would have expected that.
Yeah, exactly, especially given the recent run of form where they've picked up a couple more draws than they're accustomed to. You think that, hey, maybe SCE's Bengal are due for a loss from Chennaiyin FC, but they put an emphatic no to that question immediately. And we'll have to see if Saransh can use his wealth of experience to pull something back, at least give Chennaiyin FC a chance to bring back a point in the co-op by making this a draw.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to really start pressing hard, and that, of course, is going to create gaps for Shantan to exploit as well. So, still enough time, though. It's just 54 minutes on the clock, so most of the second half still yet to go. Looking for that slide rule pass into Mbappe. Almost found the ball through to Pele as well. Manages to keep it on that right flank. And I have to say, suddenly in the second half, Shantan looking very dangerous, very calculated with how he's approaching it, very with surgical precision. He's managing to find all those passes, again finding it almost to Ronaldo 9 over there. And now Saranch, in fact, is the player who's sort of having to do this on the counter attack, which is not necessarily his style. He's the kind of guy who likes to have complete control. He likes to have the defense on the back foot, and I don't think Shantan has afforded him that respect today, because he's just kept him in complete control. And getting in there with Messi, now with Hullet, could have been a penalty again, but no, it's a clean tackle. I do feel that maybe at some point we will need to see players like, for instance, Saran's players like V. Sharma, players like these guys who have a very fixed sense of how they play. I think we may need to see them try to change it up, and because these kind of moves have become very predictable now. The little run down the sideline and looking for that cutback simple pass. We don't see as many goals over there because the players have got wise to it. There was a flurry of that happening for about 2 or 3 weeks. But I think with all the practice, all these guys have sort of figured out how to defend those more basic kind of meta plays, if you will. And again, lovely close control here from Shantan, looking for that ball in. Almost could have played it earlier, but ball's lost. And well, gained back again. Saranch really needs to change something now, Sia.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to find some sort of move where he's able to really surprise the heck out of Shantan so far, because it really does feel like Shantan himself, he's in a very comfortable position. He's not been forced to leave his bubble whatsoever, and continuously he's got himself chance after chance, ball after ball in that driver's seat. And at this point, it's a glaring issue that was not just there for Saransh, but I'd say Nodwin too, because this team, they started off eISL with the bang. They were the team continuously leading the charts till SCE's Bengal took it away, and since then it hasn't been recovered. But ooh, that could have been lights out right there for Saransh and Chennaiyin FC.
Oh, that was worked so well by Shantan. He was kept patient, kept moving that ball around, and then sort of put like almost in chess you would call it a fork. Just basically made Saranch choose between defending two forwards who were making the run, and played that ball right through, went for the chip, but I think maybe just a ball roll sitting down the keeper would have been more effective. Now Hullet with the opportunity. Again, surprised Saranch didn't shoot over there because that was wide open. But with Messi takes that shot, finally a shot from Saranch, but it's easily blocked. It's not going to trouble the keeper at all. And again, you can see Shantan just running down that clock a little bit. Finds the ball to Mbappe as well. This has been an excellent controlled performance from Shantan. Never really looked perturbed or in control. Look at that, just toying with the midfielders, getting rid of two with a little bit ironic that Pele is doing the Cruyff turn to Cruyff over there. But sometimes that's just how the world works. And now, taking his time, 80 minutes, he can just run that clock down. Or will he look to finish this off with a bang? Saranch is going to be desperate to win that ball back, but he has conceded a corner now.
Yeah, exactly. And at this point, like you said, it is showing up as most likely a victory for SCE's Bengal, especially with Saranch not really able to really disturb the keeper of SCE's Bengal so far. Now with this opportunity, we'll have to see if Shantan can just make it GGWP for Saranch. He's just controlling the ball so well, Azim. He's able to continuously spot out the right runs, the right opportunities, but a bit of a caster curse there maybe. No, it is not. Oh, actually, a cheap giveaway, and the counter is available. Messi down the wing, running down, but Saranch taking his time. I think he wants that 90th minute chance.
Yeah, well, he needs to make it count now. Let's see how many bodies. There's 4 players in the box waiting over there. There's 4 players behind the ball as well. And he's going to need to do something different this time. Gets the ball into Mbappe, bulldozing his way through. Can he get the shot off? No, he cannot. And I think that is job done for Shantanu there. He's going to waste as much time as he legally can with that goalkeeper. Kicks it all the way long. I think Saranch will win this header and get another chance. Yes, there we go. It is Bellingham and Hullet now. Let's see if he can find something. Has the ball available to play through to Messi. Again, not going for those passes. He's just sort of spinning around. This time finds Ronaldo. Needs to take that shot. Again goes for the trick over there. And really, I think the quest for those high percentage shots has been the downfall for both Saranch and Nodwin. I think sometimes you just got to take those shots and not wait to be literally face to face with the keeper before shooting. And there you go, 2-1 nils. And that means it is 3 points in the bag for SC East Bengal. A top 4 place confirmed also for SC East Bengal. So they'll be very, very pleased with that. And well, it does make Chennaiyin FC's life that little bit more complicated, particularly seeing as they do have to play a couple of these top 4 contenders in their upcoming games.
And these are the kind of losses that are so frustrating, Azim, because you're always going to go back, think, well, I could have done that, I should have done that, if I would have done that, maybe I would have got the win. Too many ifs and buts is my point, and I think rather than going for those standard opportunities, like you said, Saranch and Nodwin kept hunting for those high percentage plays, high percentage shots, but that ended up meaning they barely got any off. So that's the question. Do you really want to keep hunting for high percentage shots if the loss is that you get a low percentage of opportunities overall? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, even if the shot's taken, the keeper saves it, you get a corner, you get something different, you get a different angle to do something. But it's just not happened for them at all. And it's one of those days where it just doesn't go your way. We see over here as well, just so simple. Chennaiyin not thinking about just taking that shot from the edge of the area. He didn't do that additional trick or skill move to try and beat the defender. He just took the shot. And we're talking about all of these guys who have the team of the year cards. These guys have crazy maxed out shooting stats. They've got all the chemistry modifiers applied. And it's so easy for them to just take that shot. But maybe I think the purism of Saranch, even over here, like I would have, like you see the keeper coming off his line, I would have gone for that finesse shot because the keeper's off his line. You can easily just chip that into the top corner. But hey, then again, I'm not a pro FIFA player and I don't play in the eISL. So obviously these guys have their reasons. But just from a pure outside perspective, you do feel that the shots would have been better. Again, just the one shot taken from Saranch. And with an XG of 0.2, it was never likely to happen.
And we most definitely have to think that way, right? Because we are wondering what would have happened with all of those plays that Saranch did have an opportunity to take a shot with. For example, I remember towards the end that Gullit opportunity where he was running down, there was no one to stop him. A simple time shot would have at the very least challenged the keeper, maybe even set up a rebound for his team, but there was never a moment where it felt like Saranch really believed that it could go in, and that's what I wonder if the issue was today. A lack of confidence, a lack of belief, maybe, because when you think back to the glory days of Ankit Gupta, he took random opportunities out of nowhere and got them in simply because he was like, well, I feel like it, so why not?
Yeah, and I mean, even if you look at his first game as well, the reason and where he got the goal from was that willingness to take that lower percentage shot on. Just get the job done. But of course, just for all of you guys who are interested in the new metaverse ecosystem, of course, you should know that Terra Virtua is an entertainment-based metaverse platform. You can get your favorite NFT team posters, team player trading cards, all on TerraVirtua.io, and of course, your free NFT just by signing up. So check it all out.
A chance to get all of those favorite hero ISL moments for yourself and to really feel connected. I think that's a chance nobody will want to miss. But talking about now missing, not a lot of chances taken by Chennaiyin FC right there, and they completely missed an opportunity to challenge SCS Bengal for that first spot right now. So I think SCS Bengal, not only, like you said, have they confirmed their top 4 slot, but at this point more or less confirmed their number 1 slot too, because it doesn't look like any team is able to really push that hard and challenge them. And that number 1 curse that we've seen throughout the eISL, it feels like they've gone past that at that point.
Yeah, absolutely, and they managed to get the job done. And of course, we can have a look at what happened in the co-op game the last time these two teams met. It was, of course, the game that decided the result and ended up being the points being shared. You can see that these were the instinctive plays, right? Those little lobs and smashing it past the keeper, and there you go. I think that was not quite sure whether it was Ankit or Shayantan who scored. That seemed like an Ankit Gupta kind of play to just do those audacious things. And over here as well, you can see just how open the defenses were at this time. And early on in the tournament, I think with everyone just sort of trying to show what they're made of, and of course feeling out for how their opponents are playing. It was completely a different vibe at that time. We saw a lot of goals being scored, but as we get into these crunch phases, particularly when the top teams meet, I think they are going to be cagey matches. We might get the occasional 3-4 thrillers if the players really decide to go for it. And I really do feel in these matches, early goals are what define what happens. If one of the players concedes early, I think that really opens up the entire game. And in both cases, we saw over here that Ankit as well scored just at the end of that first half, and Shayantan managed to get the goal early in the second half. So it was just about then seeing out that one half and just getting that result, which they do have. All 3 points and, well, fist bump, high five. Those were the days where the fist bumps and high fives also weren't in complete unison. But there we have it. It was 3-2 in the end with the penalty.
Yeah, and I'm actually curious to see more of these penalties. You can see the mind games being played where in that moment Chennaiyin decided to not move the cursor and not really play the double mind game, essentially the double fake, where they think I'm going to move, so I'm not going to move, and inherently the keeper is like, okay, I'm not going to move either. And it really is cool to see those things happen. But to even see those penalties, we're going to have to see both of these teams let loose a little bit. And talking about that, I think we can expect that from SCES Bengal. Now that they've secured the victory in this series, they're sure to let loose a little bit, just sort of play their game to a large extent. And I think that will help them get some of the confidence back that they might have lost in a couple of draws that they had so far. Get some of that instinct back that they really ruled the eISL with in the starting and mid phases of the tournament.
Yeah, and well, I mean, they didn't seem to be that perturbed yesterday. I think it was quite close between them and Bengaluru FC, and again, it was another very high stakes game. But Bengaluru FC did not manage to get the result that time, and Chennaiyin FC, I think now will be glad that they managed to get the win against Bengaluru yesterday, because if they had lost 2 games back to back, even that top 4 berth could have been potentially trouble for them, considering the fact that I do believe they still have to play Mumbai City FC and one out of FC Goa and Northeast United FC. So it is going to be, it's not a foregone conclusion yet for Chennaiyin FC. We would expect them, given their caliber, to make it through to the top 4. But, well, if FC Goa and Northeast United FC have something to say about it, it could all change.
Oh, most definitely. And for Chennaiyin FC, now this matchup just becomes a case of trying to find a silver lining from this series, trying to find some way to be like, okay, you know what, whatever happened in the individual matchups was just from our side off day, where we just had a little bit of hesitation. We were not necessarily as ruthless as we wanted to be. So if they can find a win here in the co-op, it's going to help them out, bring back that ruthless spirit in their next matchup. And I think that's going to be crucial to their top 4 battle, or even the top 2 battle, if they plan to be in there for the better seeding in itself. But hey.
Well, yeah, in the meanwhile, while we're getting ready for this match, you guys can hone your FIFA skills by getting some lessons from the maestro himself. Ankit Gupta has put together his FIFA Finesse series, and you can check it out right now.
हेलो एवरीवन, दिस इज अंकित गुप्ता हियर प्लेइंग फॉर SCEB बेंगल रेड एंड गोल्स। आज मैं आपके साथ कुछ फीफा टिप्स शेयर करने वाला हूँ जिसको आप इंप्लीमेंट करो और आपका गेम इंप्रूव होगा। आज के वीडियो में हम पासिंग के बारे में बात करेंगे। कई तरीके के पासेस होते हैं, ये सब पासेस मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि कौन से सिचुएशन में कौन सा पास यूज करना बेटर है और ये देख देख के आप अपना गेम इंप्रूव कर सकते हो। पहला पॉइंट है बेसिक पासिंग। चलिए शुरू करते हैं। देखो, आपको जिस डायरेक्शन में पास करना है उस डायरेक्शन में आप एनालॉग मूव कर सकते हो। अगर कोई आप पे चार्ज कर रहा है तो आप क्विक पासेस करके पोजीशन रख के आप बॉल मूव रोटेट कर सकते हो। जैसे वो डिफेंडर चार्ज कर रहा है, मैं फटफट रोटेट करके बॉल पास किए जा रहा हूँ। जैसा कोई डिफेंडर आ रहा है नज़दीक तो मेरे को लॉफ्ट पास करना, तो मैं इसे उठा के लॉफ्ट पास दे सकता हूँ। यहाँ पे भी चेंज करने के लिए लॉफ्ट पास बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है। पीछे भी डाल सकता हूँ, आगे भी डाल सकता हूँ लॉफ्ट पास। स्क्वायर बटन करके है जिससे मैं लॉफ्ट पास डाल सकता हूँ। देखो, मैंने स्विच कर दिया। अभी मैं आगे की साइड जाऊँगा, यहाँ गया मैं, मेरे को गोल मारने का चांस मिला। जैसे मैं देखा, लॉफ्ट किया और मैं यहाँ पे स्कोर कर दिया। बेसिक पासिंग और थ्रू पासिंग में डिफरेंस है। बेसिक पासिंग मतलब आपने एक्स दबाया तो डिफेंडर के प्लेयर के पैर में आ जाता है। अगर आपने थ्रू पास दबाया तो प्लेयर भागता है बॉल के लिए। अगर आपने वापस बेसिक पास किया तो आप नॉर्मली एक्स उसके पास जाता है, लेकिन थ्रू पास जाना तो आप प्लेयर के रन को देखना है। थ्रू पास किए, प्लेयर भाग रहा है और आप स्कोर कर सकते हो ईजिली। नॉर्मल पासेस करके मैं अपना बिल्डअप करके प्ले करके स्विच कर रहा हूँ। थ्रू पास मतलब ग्राउंड पास से बॉल डालना है। और आप मैंने L1 से ट्रिगर किया, मैं देखा रोनाल्डो भाग रहा है, मैंने ऊपर से बॉल डाल दिया L1 ट्रायंगल करके। जैसे बॉल मिला मेरे को, मेरा एक प्लेयर खाली है, स्क्वायर दबाया मैंने, सर्कल से फिनिश। चलो मैं आपको एक बार फिर से एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ कि ये सिचुएशन में हुआ क्या। मैंने बिल्डअप करने के लिए नॉर्मल एक्स पासेस किए, देख रहा था जहाँ पे प्लेयर खाली है वहाँ पे एक्स पास किया। यहाँ पे मैंने थ्रू पास किया जो ट्रायंगल बटन है। फिर मैं देखा रोनाल्डो भाग रहा है तो मैंने L1 ट्रायंगल दबाया, रोनाल्डो फ्री हो गया। रोनाल्डो जैसे गया, देखा बॉक्स में एक और प्लेयर खाली है तो मैंने स्क्वायर दबाया और सर्कल से फिनिश कर दिया। थ्रू लॉफ्टेड पास तभी यूज़ होता है जब आपको देख रहे हैं आप डिफेंडर के लाइन पे अगर आपका प्लेयर रन बना रहा है तो अगर आपको उसको ऊपर से बॉल डालना है और उसको चाहिए कि 100% वही बॉल विन करे, तो L1 ट्रायंगल करके बटन है कंट्रोलर पे, उससे लॉफ्टेड थ्रू पास जाता है तो आप उसके थ्रू करके प्लेयर को वो बॉल डाल सकते हो। ये थी पासिंग की 4 टॉपिक: बेसिक पासिंग, थ्रू पासिस, लॉफ्टेड पास, लॉफ्टेड थ्रू पास। ये चीज़ आप गेम में इंप्लीमेंट करोगे तो आपका गेम इंप्रूव होते हुए दिखेगा और ये काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है। डिफरेंट सिचुएशन में ये चारों टॉपिक आप कवर कर सकते हो। बहुत हो गई सीरियस बात है। अभी मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा मेरा फेवरेट स्किल मूव जो मुझे फीफा में करना काफ़ी पसंद है। चलिए देखते हैं। ये स्किल मूव का नाम बोलासी फ्लिक है। ये फीफा में 5 स्टार स्किल मूव है। इसे पुल ऑफ करना डिफिकल्ट है बट मैं आपको बताता हूँ कैसे करते हैं। L2 होल्ड करके राइट एनालॉग स्टिक को राइट लेफ्ट करके फ्लिक करना है और आप इजीली चांस क्रिएट कर सकते हो गोल मारने के लिए। फीफा वर्ल्ड में बॉल पोजीशन की काफ़ी वैल्यू है। आप देख सकते हैं प्रो प्लेयर्स बॉल रख के काफ़ी अच्छा बिल्डअप करते हैं, तो आप ये एमेच्योर प्लेयर इससे सीख सकते हैं। जितना बॉल रखोगे, जो जो इंपॉर्टेंट इंस्ट्रक्शन मैंने बताया है, आप वो यूटिलाइज करके गेम में इंप्लीमेंट करोगे तो आपका गेम इंप्रूव होगा। गाइज, इफ यू लाइक द वीडियो, लाइक एंड कमेंट, बट डोंट फॉरगेट टू वॉच द ऑफिशियल eISL मैचेस ऑन Nodwin गेमिंग फेसबुक एंड यूट्यूब चैनल।
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think, like we heard from Ankit, a lot of interesting strategies, especially the flick that he was talking about at the end, the Velasi flick. That's something I might try for myself. But I want to see some of those in action here in the co-op, Azim. I want to see some sort of special moves. I want to see the classic Ankit making us go, bruh, how? That kind of reaction is what I want to see in this matchup.
Yeah, well, it looks like the Chennaiyin FC boys have been watching exclusively Ankit's video because all they were doing in their first 2 games was just passing the ball and taking no shots whatsoever, and that's led them to this situation right here as we head into Game 3. A bit of a dead rubber, but of course there is there are the stakes for the MVP over here, so both Saranch and Naveen are part of it, and of course there's the internal competition between Ankit and Shantan as well. As to who will get that MVP prize and of course get their 4 lakh prize money and the personalized NFT. But this time Chennaiyin FC, as we've seen in both games, starting pretty aggressively and now deciding to take a completely absurd shot from out of nowhere. Maybe they're listening to the comms as well and realizing that they need to take a few more shots. But again, I think more of the same here, trying to get into that box, and I expect this to be a bit more of an open game.
Yeah, most definitely, especially with the pressure off with the players. And both of these teams with not much on the line through this matchup. I think it's just that momentum factor that they're going to bring into the table. So much more of an open game is what we want inherently as well. Or we'll have to see, and we'll have to hope that from the video they did not just learn कि square बोल के एक बटन होता है, क्योंकि circle बोल के भी एक बटन होता है shoot करने के लिए Chennaiyin FC. So maybe they can get some chances and get some shots on the board. But again, it is barely SCEB Bengal keeping the ball in the line. And what is that? The ball, I thought it went out for a second, but both of these teams just playing with that line on the very edge.
Yeah, absolutely on the edge over there. And now getting forward with Mbappe looking for a run. I think we will see a few more openings for Chennaiyin FC over here, just purely because they can, they have two additional players to make those runs with. But giving that ball away very cheaply in midfield, Mbappe holding on to it. This could be a good chance that he can find that pass, deciding to go in alone and taking that finish shot. Saved by Donnarumma, but of course we finally do have a shot on target. And I think that's more of what I would like to see from Chennaiyin FC. Just getting into those good positions. Just buy a ticket, you might just win the lottery. You never know. And we've seen that work out quite often, particularly in the last 2 or 3 games that we've been casting on. Those finesse shots, we've seen Akash Ash take them. We've seen Afnan take them. We've seen a lot of them from Bindra Page as well. And they've all seemed to just fly into the top corner.
Most definitely. Once again though, Chennaiyin FC with the ball, trying to make something happen, but an ambitious pass there, giving away the ball to SCEB Bengal, where they have now a through ball set up. Clearly offside there, R9 will make sure that we restart the play with Chennaiyin FC once again. And I will say, while that ambitious pass from Chennaiyin FC did give the ball away, I'm glad that they're not just looking for the high percentage plays anymore.
Yeah, it's good to see them mixing it up a little bit. I think this is also good practice for potential future co-op matches that they may end up playing against SCEB Bengal when or if they do eventually meet in the playoffs. So good practice for them. They can have fun with it. I think give the viewers a little bit more excitement as well, because let's be honest, there's not been a lot of goal mouth action in those opening first 2 games. This time Mbappe is he onside again, going in and turning away. It's almost like they're like goal is there. No, I must go opposite direction. I do not like goal. It's almost like there's a magnet that is repelling the Chennaiyin FC players away from that goal. But this time, big opportunity, CR7 on the ball, lovely ball roll. But again, just making the wrong decision in the final third.
In the final third is where we've seen Chennaiyin FC struggling throughout. Unfortunately, the struggle seems to continue right here, but okay. Joao Cancelo there with a very aggressive sweep coming through. Could have meant someone's legs broken or a card taken, but probably Ankit, because he's the one who loves going for that. He timed it well, instead pushes that for a corner. Once again though, it is Chennaiyin FC now controlling the ball, looking for a shot. Ronaldo to Ronaldo in the box, but a skill too many will mean that it's given back away.
Yeah, and just while this game is going on, I've been looking through my notes to see Chennaiyin FC's remaining couple of matches. It's not going to be plain sailing, because they do have to play Odisha FC as well, who of course managed to get points off SCEB Bengal, and they pushed FC Goa all the way as well. But we also see the final game for Chennaiyin FC is going to be a very big crunch game potentially against Northeast United FC. This time getting into the ball, the mistake, and all sorts of mayhem in the box, players falling over each other. And again, still, I don't remember the SCEB Bengal goalkeeper having to make a save of any kind across, in fact, even these all 3 matches. But this time might have some work to do. Again, trying to turn away, gets the fortune, and this time, finally, it flies in. A little bit of fortune over there, but Chennaiyin FC will be happy to finally at least get their names on that score sheet.
And at this point, I think for Chennaiyin FC, we have to remember, right, they've lost the series, but momentum is such an important factor, because even though they've lost the series, for them it's all about that top 4 battle. It's all about getting into that right groove, letting into that right place, and getting this goal will definitely, after this series, remind them that, hey, you know what, individually we might have dropped the ball, but we are able to make it happen. So we just got to focus on match to match. But talking about focus, right now with this goal they got to try and get the win, because we know how important those first goals are, but at the same time we also know how good SCE's Bengal is at coming back.
Yeah, well, we'll be hoping that it's not just 3-1-0 games in this entire match. Hopefully, some more games. Maybe that second half completely explodes and it ends up being 5-4. Let's hope for that. But I don't think it's going to be the kind of game where we'll see a few fun substitutions or gag substitutions. We did see Bindratej yesterday bring on one of his favorite Arsenal players, an Arsenal fan. He is, of course, bringing on Emil Smith-Rowe towards the end of their co-op game, and of course managing to almost get the win as well. So they had a pretty good outing yesterday. Last two games won by ATKMB. Of course, they will be in action against Northeast United FC in our next game of the day, and that's going to be a very, very big game. I did mention right at the top of the season that ATKMB are going to be playing a massive role in who actually makes it to that top four, because they have to play FC Goa, they have to play Mumbai City FC, they have to play Northeast United FC as well. So they could have a massive impact on how things play out.
Yeah, exactly. ATKMB with little to no pressure now in this final stages, because of course they out of an opportunity can really be the Sports. I wonder if there's teams going out there being like, hey ATKMB, we really like you, right? Don't end up pulling out a piece of a performance against us. And I'm sure for ATKMB it's just down to the fact that they want to enjoy themselves now. They want to enjoy the rest of this tournament. But enough about those teams. We're starting off this second half with Chennaiyin FC and SCE's Bengal once again in this co-op game. It is Chennaiyin FC with the lead, and maybe even two right here, because they have a huge opportunity. And I wonder, where were shots like these in the individual games?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. Why were they not taking shots just like these in their previous match? But now on the counter attack come SCE's Bengal, looking to get not a lot of height to attack across with. Usually on these counter attacks we've seen them use CR7 and really devastate teams. Of course, making very good use of the offside rule of there. You cannot be offside from a throw-in, and there, very intelligent play from SCE's Bengal over there. Chennaiyin FC caught sleeping on defense, thinking, oh, he's offside, I don't need to mark him. Yeah. And brilliantly worked, and we have finally 2 goals in this game. Very good goal. Very smart, sneaky goal, you could say, by SCE's Bengal. And the scores are leveled up again.
Yeah, exactly. And at this point, I think what is crucial is the fact that with 1-1 on the scoreline, both of these teams are going to hunt for the goal, open up a little bit, and therefore give us a little bit more action because of their open defenses. Now, Pele on the left trying to create that space. He gets denied, and it just comes down to that simple factor where both of these teams are now just looking for that random move, that random pass, that random bit of aggression. It might be right here for Chennaiyin.
Yeah, it might just be a random deflection that works out for them, not quite over here. It was a small deflection that got them their first goal as well. So they are relying on a little bit of good fortune to get their opportunities. But now with Hakimi trying to just reset their attack a little bit, get into the right positions. And now, again, you can see those passing lanes being cut out so well. By the SCE's Bengal boys, not allowing them to fire those passes into the strikers at all, and did well to stop the counter attack over there as we reach the 60-minute mark now in this game. Still, no great pointers either way as to who's going to get this win. I think it will come down to one slip, one mistake, or one individual bit of skill. Are we going to see that Bolassi flick from Ankit Gupta coming in? He went there going for that finesse shot straight away. That will be a foul, but advantage played since the ball is still with Chennaiyin FC. Now, Chennaiyin FC, despite having that lead early on, I mean, they haven't really looked dominant in this game. It's not really felt like they've really had SCE's Bengal against the wall at any point really through these first 3 games. I think both Ankit and Santhan have looked very comfortable in defense, even in the co-op game. And lovely bit of skill over there. Willie going for that shot. You see over there, he queued up that finish, given the ball back again and again. And Chennaiyin FC making life difficult for themselves by constantly giving that ball back. And now it's Mbappe on that left flank, runs straight past Hakimi like he's not there. and Bellingham there to pick up all the pieces for Chennaiyin FC as they go forward. I'm sure they're going to not want a whitewash. They'll want at least that
Yeah.
draw just for the sake of their pride, and hopefully a win if they can manage it. But just to remind all of our viewers, of course, at this point in the game, the points have already been distributed. SC's Bengal have all three. A great bit of skill over there, trying to get that ball in, but I think the angle too acute, and SC's Bengal come back on the counter.
The angle a little too acute, and at this point, certainly it did feel like for the side of Chennai and FC, they are much more open though, because again, that sort of cross, not something we saw in the individual game. That sort of play, not something we saw in the individuals. And this time you can see in this co-op game, they're just like, yeah, why not? And with that why not mentality, they get the ball into the box. Ronaldo trying to cut it back, but keenly intercepted by N'Golo Kante. And I love this play from Chennaiyin FC, and they've got the ball back once again. The quick Hakimi with the interception. And now what can they create?
Ooh. Trying to chip that in behind, and there you go again. Just Chennaiyin FC just putting in that cross into the box, and again created all sorts of chaos into that SC's Bengal bench. And that's sometimes that's what you want to do. Even if you're not creating a chance, you want to create chaos, just like the goalkeeper has done over there for Chennaiyin FC, handing the ball straight to Mbappe of SC's Bengal, but eventually no harm done. But sometimes it's just about that. Like if your opposition is just feeling a little bit too comfortable, even if you do something that just throws a little bit of a spanner into their work, suddenly just makes them panic for like a minute or so, that can just throw their concentration off and make them make that mistake. And it's something that we haven't seen enough of from Chennaiyin FC today. Sayantan saying, no, we are not bringing on any. Please keep John Joe Shelby on the bench. None of that is happening. And they just want to see it out. I think he's happy to take that draw. Of course, maybe might take. I think the competition between the two, I'm sure, will be there as well as to who's going to score more goals. So let's see if they decide to try and score one more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what is going to be especially even more interesting is if that one goal is some sort of highlight goal. Because like you said, I'm sure our highlight team is clutching at straws right now. We've got 4 goals across 3 matches, and none of the goals, I'd say, are different in the way we expect to say from someone like Ankit or SC's Bengal in general, or even from Nodwin in the early starts of this matchup, where he would score these insane moves where it would be so damn quick. But a couple of key substitutions. We've seen the quick Brazilian bot on, Vinicius Jr. Maybe he can bring the pace and up it up.
Just pulling that save out over there, and that's what we want to see. Very instinctive play, creating that shooting opportunity. And again, even though the keeper saved it, you still have a corner, you still have an opportunity to do something with it. And we have seen a lot of players now actually start just based on the amount they've played against each other and watched these guys playing. They've started doing those manual keeper movements as well, just based on where players tend to put that ball. So generally they would have figured out, okay, Saranj tends to go to the far post, so I'm just going to automatically move my keeper to the far post. Sometimes it looks very comical if they do it very early. It's just the keeper moving completely across goal and leaving it absolutely open. And as a viewer, you might wonder what's happening, but it was probably going to be a goal anyway, and that's when they just decide to just roll the dice and see if something might happen. Free kick over there for SC's Bengal as 85 minutes on the clock. Is anybody going to give us another goal? Is anybody going to give our production team some work to do?
That's the question right here with just a few minutes left on the clock. Seems unlikely, but unlikely is what these players usually specialize in. So I hope they pull something out of the bag. And look at this, doing exactly that. SC's Bengal moving across the wings. The ball set up for, I think there was Hakimi in the box, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was Ronaldo in the box.
Yeah, it was Ronaldo in the box over there. And now, well, I think he could have gone long for that run on the right flank. Decided to go to the fullback as well. Maybe not intentional. Maybe he was looking for that run. But I guess we'll never know. Now with Messi at the edge of the area, will we see that long shot? No, we don't. De Bruyne as well. We've seen a lot of crazy De Bruyne strikes fly into that corner. Still nothing. And again, we see that ball just going in. And that is the final whistle. It's going to end 1-1. So it's not a clean sweep for SC's Bengal. Chennaiyin FC getting a little bit of pride out of that co-op draw that they've managed to hold on to. But on the day, I think SC Bengal, in a very close and a nervy match, managing to create the chances when they mattered and take the chances, take the shots when it mattered, and eventually getting those 3 points. Could say this game in many ways was a dress rehearsal for what we're going to see in the playoffs, in the finals, and we'll be hoping that there's a little bit more goals and entertainment when, if and when these teams meet later on in the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. And at this point, I think for all of these teams, it's going to be interesting watching them how they prepare for the playoffs and finals, because we've seen clear-cut play styles from them at the start of the eISL. We've seen them get cagey towards the end of the eISL, and we need to see them now trying to find a balance where they maintain their clear-cut play styles but are still able to adapt to their opponents' tendencies when required. But I think what is especially crucial, even more than that, is the right momentum, the right mood in your team going into the matchup. And I think for SCE's Bengal, the renewed vigor with which they're going to be approaching their matches after these wins is going to be key.
Yep, definitely going to keep that momentum going, of course, after a little bit of a slump for SC's Bengal, managing to get back to winning ways over here. Despite not being the most convincing performance in the world, I think the days of the Ankit Gupta 6-0s are kind of over. And if you look at the stats, I think Chennaiyin FC just about dominating over there and managing 1.9 XG, but just the one goal. They could potentially have managed to win that game, but actually equal shots taken by both teams. So at least there was a little bit of goalmouth action for everyone to enjoy today.
Yeah, a little bit, I would say, more fluid from both of the teams overall. But definitely, as you mentioned, it wasn't the greatest of days form-wise from the side of SCE's Bengal.
Yeah, and having a look at that final scorecard, it is, of course, two 1-0 wins that got the 3 points in the bag for SCE's Bengal, and then that hard-fought 1-1 draw. We did think that maybe Chennaiyin FC might be stealing that one pride result, but it was not to be. Let's find out now who is the hero of the match. A difficult decision, not a lot of goals scored, but it is Ankit Gupta again, the hero of the match, scoring 2 goals. Well, the only player to score more than 1 goal, so I think he's deserved it. Managed to get the 1 goal, which was just slightly fortunate, we can say, with that deflection falling very kindly to Eusebio, finding himself in an onside position and just tapping it into an empty net. And the co-op goal, I think, was worked very well. This was a very smart, very cheeky goal. And of course, the skill move over there to just get away from the defender, smash it into the corner. Doesn't need to be the most favorable angle in the world. But let's find out now which is the Terra Virtua super moment of the match.
Probably, yeah, there we go. It is going to be the goal from Shantan himself, just beautifully calculated. Me personally, again, being an Arsenal fan, not the team we see nowadays, but the team I used to see back in the day. This goal reminds me of them. Just calculated passes all the way through, making the opposition desperate to a certain extent, and then finding that crucial ball, the way you mentioned, with that fork, with Ronaldo 7 and Ronaldo 9 in great positions to pick it up. He chooses the number 7 and he is able to slam it in.
Yep. And of course, getting getting in there, of course, with the V-Flect, celebrating and dancing and enjoying the performances from SC's Bengal. I think they've been putting on a great show all through this tournament, and that, of course, is reflected in the leaderboard right now. Let's have a look over there. SC's Bengal, I think, definitely now have qualified. Well, I'm not sure if the leaderboard reflects the final points tally, because I think they should be on 39 points. But no change to Chennaiyin FC over there, Mumbai City FC, FC Goa, Northeast United FC, Bengaluru FC, all of them still in that discussion. And it's just so close. I mean, I can't pick which out of those 4 teams is going to make it right now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so intense the way it seems to have set itself up. I think we're about just ready to have a chat with one of the players. So let's head on right over there.
I do believe we have Shantan with us. Shantan, एक और win, congratulations. And अभी I think इसके बाद confirm हो चुका है that top 4 confirmed है. तो how are you feeling?
हाँ, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है क्योंकि अभी मैथमेटिकली हम लोग टॉप 4 में आ गए हैं. सो अभी बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
और आई मीन आपके लिए थ्रू आउट दिस टूर्नामेंट एक जर्नी रही है, यू नो शुरुआत से ही आप लोग डोमिनेट करते आए हो, बट अब दैट यू आर रीच दैट टॉप 4, ये जर्नी का अंत कहाँ नजर आ रहा है? डायरेक्ट एफजीएस का स्पॉट फॉर आई एम वेनो 7 और नो?
नहीं, पहले तो आईएसएल ईआईएसएल का ट्रॉफी के बारे में सोच रहा हूँ, उसके बाद मैं और अंकित में जो भी अच्छा खेलेगा उसको एफजीएस का स्पॉट मिलेगा।
वेल ब्रिलियंट, आपका बहुत ही बेहतरीन परफॉर्मेंस, काफी टफ मैच आज, बट यू गाइस मैनेज टू get the results, so congratulations on your win, and of course I'm sure आपको बहुत सारे messages और DMs आ रहे होंगे to the SCEs from the SCEs Bengal fans, तो fans के लिए अगर कोई message हो तो we would love to hear it.
या वी आर ट्राइंग आवर बेस्ट, हम हर मैच में जीतने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो होप सो कि हम लोग ईआईएसएल के ट्रॉफी भी जीत जाएंगे।
Awesome, brilliant. Thanks so much, and then all the best. We'll chat with you soon.
थैंक यू गाइस।
I mean, we've talked about this a lot, but as a fan himself, I'm sure he wants that SCEs Bengal name lifting up the eISL trophy. So I'm excited to see that. But hey, like we talked about, this is the updated leaderboard, the 39 points, as you mentioned, for SCEs Bengal. Chennaiyin, unfortunately, still languishing with 34 points. And an opportunity now for Mumbai City FC, if they're able to get even 2 wins out of their 3 games in hand, they could take away that spot. And similarly for FC Goa to really pile the pressure onto Chennaiyin FC and put them in that last position where they are concerned about their spot.
Absolutely, it's going to be complete entertainment. But for you guys, if you need entertainment in your metaverse world, of course, Terra Virtua is an entertainment-based metaverse platform. You can get your favorite NFT team posters, team player trading cards, everything you want related to the Hero ISL as well on terravirtua.io, and also get yourself a free NFT. Check it out.
An opportunity to have your favorite Hero ISL moments intrinsically connected to you. That's something you never want to miss. But a big thank you to our partners who made this happen. Of course, the eISL powered by Coca-Cola with Hero as our associate sponsor, Nodwin Gaming as our esports partner, PlayStation as our platform partner, and Terra Virtua as our digital collectibles partner. Now, don't you go anywhere because we've got a long day still ahead of us. 2 more sets to go, and we'll be back after a short break on another stream.